Welcome back, guys. I'm Alex over at Disney Coffee and Book Talk, and we're covering Cars today, the movie Cars. Now, I know Cars was a popular movie. My son loved Mater. It came out before he was born. Cars 2 as well, which we'll get to in our next full video. There are some interesting Easter eggs, though, so let's go. So we're covering Cars, and at first we see a kind of glimpse of the number. Here's a better shot, number 95. Now this is going to be important because in 1995, it was the first year that Pixar, who is the animation company that made Cars, they released Toy Story. So this is a connection to Toy Story, although there's going to be a few more. So just putting that out. Our blimp here says Lightyear, Lightyear being Buzz Lightyear. And here's the stadium. We also have mentions of Dynaco. Dynaco was the gas station that the Pizza Planet truck had stopped at. And we're going to see a lot more of Dynaco, not only in the Cars franchise, but throughout Pixar. And this kind of comes into a lot of the theories of By and Large and Dynaco, so I want to make that clear. So we do have an Elvis RV. Elvis is only mentioned in Cars, other than Lilo and Stitch which was a Disney, but there is a small link. That being said, our next Easter egg is Bob Cutlass, who is played by Bob Costas, or voiced by, and Daryl Carchip, who is voiced by Daryl Waltrip. They're both known sports analysts and newscasters, so this is very much them. Here we have another shot of the Dynaco and Dynaco logo. Again, you'll see that throughout the Pixar films. Dynaco logo is also based off of The Good Dinosaur, which will come out much later, but it is dinosaur fuel oil, if you guys know. They talk more about that in Cars 2, so we'll keep that in mind. Here we have a glimpse of like a Lightning McQueen movie at the Hollywood Chinese Theater. This is a very popular place where celebrities go for premieres, but also Emmys and Grammys and stuff tend to be put there or hosted there. And so in this movie premiere that is in McQueen's mind, he is fighting these monster aliens, and they remind me very much of like a Cars version of the Omnidroid from Incredibles. We also have a glimpse of Lightning McQueen in his daydream with the Hollywood sign behind him. And then we have a glimpse of this car and the license Yvel, which to me, it reminded me of Cruella de Vil. Now obviously that's not the same car, but the spelling is awfully the same except for the D in front of it. So link there, maybe. If you guys think there's a link to something else, let me know down below. Now, Mac here, you might recognize his voice. This is John Ratzenberg's voice. And at the very end, I don't want to give too much away, but we're going to see much more of this. And it's quite funny in the after credits, or technically it's during the credits, of Mac reacting to some things that are Easter eggs. Anyway, moving on, we also have, as they were driving towards California, this was a very hard Easter egg to grab, but this is the smaller birds from For the Birds, which was a Pixar short. Um, and you can see them on the wire. I mean, it is like less than a second of this. So it's a very, very fast Easter egg. So this minivan actually comes up not only throughout this movie, but as well as I believe it was Toy Story 3. Um, so just keep that in mind. There's like little things that pop up. Now here on the truck, if you see that white truck, that's a little bit lighted up or lit up, sorry. You'll see it says ink, but the I is the Incredibles logo. Now, these four cars remind me of the cars from Fast and the Furious 2, one of my favorites of the Fast and Furious franchise, and we do see them much later in the movie. Um, but was it a nod? Your thoughts on that? On the train, we see A113. Now, this is important. This comes up in every Pixar movie. A113 is the classroom number at Caltech Institute where all of the Disney, or majority of the Disney, plus all of the Pixar animators have studied. Um, and they put this as a nod to their education. And you can find this literally in every single Pixar movie. On the light, you'll see these little Volkswagen bugs. Hey, joke, right? But these are gonna pop up throughout the film. Um, it's a nod to Volkswagens, right? They're called the bugs, or bugs specifically, but also to Bugs the movie. So, or I'm sorry, A Bug's Life, my bad. And we are going to see more of that as well. This is supposed to be Jay Leno, but Jay Limo, you guys get the point. We also have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the mayor of, or the governor of California at the time, and he's, if you guys don't know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is, he is a German actor turned politician. So this is him in Cars version. So maybe I've been doing this too long because they mentioned Tahiti. Now I do want to mention there was a Pixar, um, it was called Knick Knack. It was a Pixar short, and one of the snow globes I believe said Tahiti, but also I want to mention that, and this is a stretch. I'm just gonna let you guys know. In Marvel, especially in Agents of Shield, the mention of Tahiti is a lot. Um, like I said, it's a stretch, but hey, theorist here. So, the second part where Lightning goes Pikachu, kind of like a funny Pikachu. Again, kind of a stretch, but why the heck not? I also want to mention that the rock formations are cars, the hoods of cars with their wheels, the rims, which I thought was really cool. A little bit of foreshadowing, but also we're going to see more of Guido and Luigi's obsession with Ferraris. In the second movie, there is a Ferrari, and you'll see more of that. Here we have 3 magazines that feature cars. These are very real magazines that are, in real life. Like I said, we were going to see more of Guido and Luigi's obsession with cars. This was a cute phrase. They made cars, right? The original phrase is float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and they made it into the Cadillac, right? The whole quote is float like a Cadillac, sting like a Beamer, which was kind of cute and very Cars. Now, Pixar does a very good job of going into very detail and themed. So, Doc Hudson is literally a doctor of internal medicine, and here we have a version of what the cars are going to be, right? And you'll see this throughout Main Street of like, you know, get flaps and get, you know, other car parts, right? So, thought that was so as Mater and Lightning McQueen were out cow tipping or tractor tipping, really. They mentioned the Ghost Light, and Mater and the Ghost Light was a Cars themed Pixar short. There's a bunch of them, but we do kind of see little hints of them throughout the movie. The UFO, the was it Mater in blue, like being cool and all that. There's a whole bunch. So a little bit of foreshadowing, but also Easter eggs to other movies. Here at the Cozy Cone in the cone pictures, we have the Eiffel Tower and the Stonehenge, both of which are seen during Cars 2. So a little bit of foreshadowing, but also Ratatouille, um, Stonehenge would be similar, not quite the same, but similar to Brave. So we got a little bit of that. So here, this is when Lightning McQueen finds out that Hudson Hornet was a Piston Cup uh, champion 3 times over. And the Fabulous Hudson Hornet is an actual race car. I want to make that clear. You can actually see where the Fabulous Hudson Hornet, the original, what this is based off of, hold on. So last time I saw it, I don't know if it's still at the museum, the same museum. No, I guess they moved. Maybe. Anyway, where I saw it was at a museum up in Maine. Right, hold on. Yeah, so it was the Maine Classic Car Museum, and it's in Arundel, Maine. Okay, I actually went to see this. It was about the same year that there was a plane crash around that location. It was like after we got back from the it wasn't a museum at the time, but it then became a museum. That's a whole other story. But anyway, but we got to see the Fabulous Hudson Hornet, and there's so many other amazing original cars. I highly recommend you checking it out. It was very, very cool. And I went back in 2017. So my son was 4, and he's obsessed with cars. Not just, he wasn't just obsessed with the movie, but like cars, trucks, etc. So it was really cool to see the original and us having talks about this, because his first birthday was Cars, the movie themed, especially based off Mater, because Mater was his favorite at the time. Here's another shot of those bugs, the Volkswagen bugs, and this was a hotel, but you can kind of see the beginning, the wheel rim and stuff. And here's another shot of like the the whole region where you can see better. And as Sally was describing how the town was before she got there and how she wanted to see it, you can see Mater in his original color. This again pops up during one of the shorts, although I don't think it was purposefully because that was his original color, but it just suited for what he was being as a career. Now here we have a map of the region, right, where Radiator Springs is, Cadillac Range. Now I do want to mention that on the real Route 66, which this is based off of, there is actually a place called the Car Hinge, and it is old cars, like lemon cars. They don't drive. There's buses and stuff that is like the Stonehenge, but there's massive amounts of cars. It's pretty cool. It is definitely on my bucket list, but my friends have gone there and they said it was pretty fascinating. Here we see McQueen buy a snow globe from Lizzie. This is kind of a nod to um, Knick Knack. We see she also gave him stickers on the back. Now, I want to mention he got stickers on the back and then got a new paint job, and I was like, why would you put stickers on the back of your car and then get a paint job? That was kind of weird. But as Ramon gave him a paint job, they did leave the stickers, so that made more sense. Here's another mention of the ghost light, but this was really all of the media press finding McQueen, and then they're back. McQueen gets taken to California for the racing, and in this shot, you will see on the left is the Pixar car, the Pizza Planet truck, the one that really started it all off in Toy Story. Now his friends go and surprise him. Fabulous Hudson Hornet becomes his crew chief. He didn't win, but that's okay. They did do him a favor and allow Mater to take a helicopter ride, which was cool. And, McQueen got a better reputation. And so now all of his race car friends are visiting, including a real Ferrari, which freaks Guido and Luigi out because they're like, oh my God, a real Ferrari. Now to the after credits, you can see that car that passed them, that minivan, has now been and got new tires. There's now a Doc Hudson museum honoring him. We have the drive-in theater with Toy Story version, where we see Buzz and Lightning and Ham, who is voiced by John Ratzenberg, aka the same voice as Mac. And here he is making jokes about his voice. We have Monster Inc. trucks at the drive-in. We also have on screen we have Mike and Sully and the Abominable Snowman, who is again voiced by John Ratzenberg. And again, Mac is just joking around. A Bug's Life. This is kind of what I was joking about. Here we have Volkswagen Bug, the same bugs that we've been seeing. And the Circus Clown. This is P.T. Flea, based off P.T. Barnum. If you watch my A Bug's Life video, it'll make more sense. And then we see Max saying, oh my gosh, it's always the same actor. Yeah, well, it's him, so keep that in mind.